What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog here with another New York Giants video. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 guys that I believe are going to take the next step in 2019 and have breakout seasons for the New York Giants. And I hope that you guys will all comment. Let me know if you agree. Let me know who you think can have breakout seasons for the Giants in 2019. Because I'd be very interested in hearing your opinions as always. The first guy on my list is Evan Engram. Now, Evan Engram was a guy that I did not want us to draft in 2017. I did not like that draft pick. I made it perfectly clear. Felt like we needed to address the defensive line or the offensive line. They were both in shambles. I said the last thing we need on this team is a tight end who cannot block. Evan Engram in 2017 did have a fantastic rookie season. He had a Pro Bowl type season. He did drop a lot of passes, but he looked like a superstar. And people said, you know what? By the end of the year, I said, oh, this guy can play. He's going to be a nightmare matchup for linebackers and safeties because of his speed. Now, he took a huge step back in 2018. He only had 45 catches for 577 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, he did battle a lot of injuries this season, and he did drop a lot of passes to the point that every single week I would come on here and talk about how we need to cut this guy. He can't perform. He can't catch. He can't block. What the hell is the point of having him here? But in the last 4 games of the season, he did start to improve a lot. He had 22 catches in the last 4 games of the season for 320 yards and a touchdown. So he averaged over 5 catches a game and 80 yards a game, showing those nightmare matchups, showing that speed and showing that agility that makes him a big-time threat in the passing game. Now, coming into 2019, the Giants have improved their offensive line. We all know what Saquon Barkley can do, the threat that he brings in the running game. The New York Giants can feed off of this, and with the play-action pass that holds all the linebackers, which should enable Evan Engram to get behind the linebackers. Evan Engram's got to clean up the drops. That is for sure. He's got to hang on to the ball, and he's got to stay healthy. But if this guy can stay healthy, and if this guy can hang on to the ball like he should, I could see Evan Engram having 65 to 75 catches this year for around 900 yards and 6 to 9 touchdowns. And this is the honest to God's truth. The Giants always were really good on that play-action pass and that seam route to the tight end. We used it with Martellus Bennett really effectively, and Eli Manning always seemed to hit his tight end. This seems to be something we've gotten away from, which I never really understood, because Evan Engram is probably the most athletic tight end that I've seen the Giants have since I've started watching them in 1984. I can't remember a more speedy or athletic tight end than Evan Engram. I think Evan Engram can have a big season. Now, of course, with Odell Beckham being out the last 4 games of that year, that was really when he started to become a focal point of the offense. And, of course, remember, again, in 2017, Beckham had a lot of injury problems. So I think with Beckham not being there, this gives a lot more opportunity to Evan Engram. And I think Evan Engram will take that next step in 2019. This is his 3rd full season in the league, and I really do feel like with the offensive line being the way it is, and Saquon Barkley being obviously the defensive focal point for all defenses, that Evan Engram could have a lot of matchups where he does get behind linebackers and he does cause problems for defenses. I think Evan Engram can take that next step. I think he will take that next step. And I think Evan Engram is going to have a big season for the New York Giants in 2019. The next guy on my list is somebody that, is one of my favorite players. Now, I love Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard, I was a huge fan of him at Oklahoma. I watched this kid at Oklahoma for years, and I always felt like, when we drafted him, as mad as I was with the 1st-round pick in 2016 when we took Eli Apple, I was that happy when we took Sterling Shepard. I said, we stole this kid. I compare Sterling Shepard a lot to Victor Cruz because he's about the same size as Victor Cruz. He's about the same speed. Maybe he's a little faster than Victor Cruz, but he's extremely effective in the slot, but he can also play outside and be effective as well. He's definitely a better slot receiver than he is an outside receiver. Now, Sterling Shepard's been a letdown for me, I'm not going to lie. He did have 66 catches for 872 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, but his rookie season, I believe he had 8 touchdowns. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the stats on that. But he did have a really good rookie season. In 2017, he battled some injuries again, as everybody did in the Giants. But last year, again, he had 872 yards, but he only had 4 touchdowns. Again, this is a kid that dropped a lot of passes. He didn't do that at Oklahoma. This is something that he's got to clean up. I don't know if it was a distraction. I'm pretty sure he had a child last year. I don't know if his contract was whatever it was, but either way, man, this is all said and done. He's locked up for 4 years, $41 million. That is under his belt. He does not need to worry about that. It's not a distraction anymore. There should be no distractions for Sterling Shepard. He needs to get better. He's got the talent to perform. in this league, and I think that he will take that next step forward. Maybe that's just me saying this is a Sooner, and I want him to perform extremely well. But Sterling Shepard, like I said, I watched him so many games at Oklahoma, and I know the kind of talent this kid has. I know what he can be, and I know the potential he has, and I feel like this is the year that he will step up and become a really, really good receiver, maybe even a Pro Bowl receiver. I could see Sterling Shepard having 80-plus catches this season for around 1,000 yards, and again, maybe 6 to 9 touchdowns. He's got to be a bigger point. He's going to run the slant patterns. And again, those quick slants in the play action pass can allow Sterling Shepard to get a lot of quick yards and a lot of yak, run after the catch, and get those yak yards. I feel like Sterling Shepard had a lot of opportunities to be a lot better last year, but again, he seemed to drop a lot of passes in big spots. He did that in the postseason too in 2016 when we were in Green Bay. He had a touchdown right in his hit him right in the chest, and he dropped it. He's got to clean up those drops. He's got to concentrate more. That's his biggest, bugaboo or whatever is. He's just got to concentrate. I mean, he's a great route runner. He's got very good speed, and he's got good quickness. And he's just got to catch the ball. But I think he will catch the ball this year, and I think that he could have a really big season for the New York Giants. So I'm hoping he does, obviously, but I do believe that he will take the next step. The last guy I want to talk about is Lorenzo Carter. Now, I was very high on Lorenzo Carter when we drafted him out of Georgia in the 3rd round last year. I felt like Lorenzo Carter was an enormous steal, and he had a pretty good rookie season. He had 4 sacks and 43 tackles. He didn't force a fumble or he defensed 4 passes. Well, he didn't have an interception. He didn't really force any turnovers, but he didn't play a lot. And it seemed like whenever he was on the field, that he did make a very big impact for the New York Giants. And if the Giants are going to be successful, Lorenzo Carter is going to have to take that next step. Lorenzo Carter has to have a big sophomore season. He's obviously going to see the field a lot more this season. He's got to stay healthy. Of course, all these players got to stay healthy if they're going to take the next step. But I really do feel like Lorenzo Carter is going to be a big-time player for the New York Giants, running a 3-4, man. He's very fast. He's very athletic. This guy can get to the quarterback. He can chase down running backs, and he's pretty good at coverage. He needs to improve that as well. But, Lorenzo Carter could definitely, again, take another huge step, and I expect Lorenzo Carter, guys like Lorenzo Carter and B.J. Hill, who was not in this video, but I expect B.J. Hill, who also had a very good rookie season, to be, a big-time contributor on the defense. I think Lorenzo Carter could have 8 sacks. I think he could double his sack total. I think he could double his tackle total. I think he can, have 80-plus tackles. I think he could force a couple fumbles. I think he could pick a couple passes off, and I think that he can make some plays on defense, some game-changing plays on defense coming into next year because he knows the playbook. He's not a rookie anymore. He's got a year under his belt. He's acclimated to the speed, and again, he's going to see the field a lot more than he did last season. So I expect Lorenzo Carter to make a big impact on defense, especially bringing in a guy like Marcus Golden, who can certainly help him and get him even more acclimated to James Bettcher's system. But I think they got to use Lorenzo Carter a lot more. I always questioned why the guy wasn't on the field because, like I said, it seemed like every time Lorenzo Carter was on the field, he made something happen. Okay, so I feel like Lorenzo Carter is the guy in defense that needs to take that next step. I believe he will take that next step. I think Lorenzo Carter can have a big year for the Giants. I think he's going to make a lot of plays on the defense. And I think, again, I don't know if he'll make the Pro Bowl, but I think he could be a Pro Bowl caliber player. I just feel like these are the 3 Giants that really could take the next step. They're very talented guys. And I think that with a year under the Shermer system and a year under Bettcher's system, that these guys are going to have breakout seasons for the New York Giants. So like I said, man, let me know what you think. Do you agree with those 3 guys? Do you have 3 other guys in mind that you think are going to have breakout seasons? I'd love to hear your opinions. I always do. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. If you are new to my channel, I'd appreciate it. And hey, have a great night, and I'll see you next time. It is Baddog, and I am gone. Peace!